This conference will now be recorded.
So yesterday we have seen what are the advantages of among all the tools that is Selenium. So let me revisit the topic. What are the advantages of Selenium? Supports multiple browsers such as Google, Firefox, Edge, Safari, etc. It can work on various operating systems such as Mac, Windows, Linux. In short, we can say it's platform independent, lightweight to use, supports various programming languages such as Java, C Hash, Python, JavaScript, Ruby, etc. It is one of the most flexible tools. That means that the Selenium tool can be used in our own terms and own ways accordingly. Yeah, consumes less hardware. Supports cross-browser testing. What do you mean by cross-browser testing? Suppose if you have a test case that should be working the same way in Chrome browser as well as Firefox browser as well as in the Edge browser as well as in the Safari browser. So there are some situations where you need to do a round of testing in all the browsers. So Selenium supports us to do the cross-browser testing. It supports us to do parallel testing. Generally what they do in the manual testing, we execute one test case after the other. With the help of Selenium, you can do parallel testing. Like suppose if you want to do 10 test cases, you have to do execute one test case after the other. So with the help of Selenium, what is parallel testing is like, suppose if you want to run 10 different test cases on 5 different browsers, yes, you can do it. The 5 test cases will be running simultaneously and the next set of 5 cases will be keep picking up after the first set of 5 is completed. So this is called as a parallel testing. Yeah, is it clear?
Yes.
Is it clear, guys? So let us see what are the disadvantages of Selenium. Like every coin has two sides. Let us see the disadvantages of Selenium. It cannot perform any image processing related things like reading the captcha image, reading the image text from the images, reading the captcha images, or trying to understand what is there in the image and stuff. We cannot do any such kind of testing. Not only Selenium, any automation tool cannot perform such kind of testing. Besides, automating a CAPTCHA is a very wrong notion because the whole purpose of CAPTCHA is such a way that the robot cannot detect it. The bots that we use to test the application, they should not be in a position to understand the CAPTCHA. If they are able to understand the CAPTCHA, that means the strength of your CAPTCHA is very less. So you need to really figure out how do you build a very strong CAPTCHA so that only humans can detect only humans can understand and analyze it. Yeah. It does not have a default reporting mechanism. That means what? It relies on third-party tools to generate the reports. Got it? It does not have any direct integration with the test management tools such as Jira, TestRail, HPALM. Yeah, is it clear?
Yeah, got it.
Okay. Cannot automate the audio and video part. Obviously, you cannot automate the audio and video part because audio is something while you listen, it can understand. Video part is something that you visualize, then only you can understand. Need to know a programming language by default. You need to know some or the other programming language in order to work with Selenium. Got it? It is used to do automation testing on the websites. Clear, guys? Clear with the pros and cons?
Yes, Raghu, got it.
How about others?
Yes, understood.
Yes, yes, sir.
Hmm.
Didn't get the number 6. What do you mean by that?
This whole thing of Selenium is to do testing on the websites only. We cannot use the Selenium tool to do perform automation testing on mobiles or desktop applications.
Okay, mobile website. Okay. Gotcha.
Only for the websites we can do. Yeah. Phone number. Yeah. So there is something called as audio and video testing. How many of you know in websites there will be some audio and video parts in the testing? So generally what we do the such kind of things manually because whenever there's a audio present in the application, we just listen to the audio and check whether the right audio file is placed in the website or not. When we see a video like a promo of your website or a like a testimonial from a customer on a website, we cannot even see the tool cannot even understand what is present in the video unless and until a human eye sees through that video only they can understand what is the video testing and what is the audio testing. Yeah, hope I'm clear.
Yes.
So how many of you know the software development lifecycle case? Can anyone explain me what is the software development lifecycle and stuff? Hmm?
So it's basically from requirement, then design, coding, testing, deployment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'm not sure. Like because in Agile, I can say that it's a life cycle. No, not actually. So basically, the testing is like that.
Mm. Okay. So as you all know, the software development lifecycle is all about what? We kick off the project, then we collect the requirements, then we do a round of analysis on the requirements that we have collected. Based on the analysis that we have done on the requirements, then we do the design part. Clear? Once we do the design part, list wireframes, mock your POIs, this all the stuff, then we do a round of the development team will develop the websites or develop the code. Then as testers, we do the round of testing. On post deployment, the application will be up for operation and maintenance to uh, monitor whether the application is working fine in the other environments and stuff. Yeah. So in this SDLC phase, what role does automation come into picture? Post the requirements gathering, from an automation standpoint of view, one of our automation members should ideally be as part of the requirements gathering, because we need to understand what are the requirements that we have gathered from the customers to what are the main pain point areas that we are addressing them. So during the analysis and design phase, we need to be ready with the automation framework that is robust enough in such a way that by the time the application is handed over to the testing phase, the framework should be ready up and running, so that when the during the testing phase, we should start writing our scripts. Okay, we should start writing our scripts and stuff. So this is one round of one style of automation testing that most of the companies do. The other style of automation testing is what? Post the testing process, post the application is sent for deployment, then what we do between this testing and deployment process, then the automation team comes into picture, where they understand all the requirements in one go, where they understand whether the major defects and bugs they have found, and we need to start writing, we need to check the automation feasibility of the test cases that you have written, and we have to start doing it. This happens when after I minus one sprint. That means what? When the testing team is in second sprint, the automation team will be one sprint behind, because the testing team has to certify that particular sprint is working properly or not. Else we cannot. Else it is not suitable for automation to test. If there are too many defects, then the application is not viable for automation testing. If the application should be at least stable enough to do a round of automation testing. Got it? Got it, guys?
Got it.
Mm. So what do you mean by this STLC phase? We do the round of requirement analysis, we do a round of test planning, we do a test case development, we set up the environment, we do a round of test execution. Based on the test cases that you have developed, we do a round of test execution. And in the test cycle closure, we say how many test cases pass, fail, skip, what are the critical issues, what are the areas that we need to focus on, work on, and stuff. Yeah, is it clear, guys? So the next thing is Selenium suite. What are the different tools that are present under Selenium family? Selenium IDE, Selenium RC, Selenium WebDriver, and Selenium Grid. These are the four main tools that are present in the Selenium family. The first tool that we'll be discussing about is Selenium IDE. Okay, what is Selenium IDE is all about? Selenium IDE. What does the Selenium IDE stand for? IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. So this is the first tool from Selenium family that is invented in the year 2004 by an employee at Thoughtworks. Yeah, this is a record and playback tool. This is a record and playback tool. So how many of you have used tape recorders or cassettes during the olden days? We record something and we play back the same thing again and again. That's what happens in the music recordings in the film industry or something, right? We record a voice and we play back it again to check uh, whether it is the song is well composed properly or not. Zero coding knowledge is net. Zero coding knowledge is required. Basics of HTML would be an added advantage. Initially, it was supposed to work in Firefox only, but from 2018 onwards, it started supporting on Chrome browser. Yeah, so it is an extension to a browser. So what do you mean by an extension? Open here. Type here Selenium IDE for Chrome. Open this link. So if you see here, already this extension is added into my system. I'll just remove that extension. And then I click on Add to Chrome. Okay, clear? Is this clear? This is how we install the Selenium IDE extension. It's one of the lightweight tools to use. Then you click on this extensions icon. Then you can see your tools. Then you can open Selenium IDE. Yeah. So this is your welcome screen. It will be displaying options: record a new test in a new project, opening an existing project, create a new project, and close the Selenium IDE. Okay. Since we are working on this tool for the first time, we click on record a new test in a new project. Okay. Then you can give a project name of any choice. Dummy recording. You can give any name of your choice. You have to give the application URL for which you are trying to record it. Okay. You have to give the application URL for which you are trying to record it. So you need to click on start recording. Once it is clicked on start recording, then you can perform any kind of actions that you want to do. League, domestic, current and future series, matches by the day, teams, series archive, and I click on this and I can stop my recording here. There's a stop button here, so I can stop my recording here. What would be the test case name? Navigation would be my test case name, something of my choice. So I click on OK. So if you want to play back the same script again and again, you can click on this play button. Got it? Got it, guys?
Yeah, got it.
Hmm. So if you there is an option called as text execution speed. If you want to reduce the speed of the execution, you can reduce the speed of the execution like this, and you can click on the play button.
So Rahul, it is just a record and play. So we don't have any assertions or we don't have any wait times,
Nothing,
not
nothing,
nothing.
nothing,
Okay,
nothing,
just
nothing.
record and play. Okay.
Yeah, the disadvantages of using Selenium IDE is using Selenium IDE is you cannot modify the scripts. Cannot modify the script like adding asserts or conditional asserts or conditional or looping statements. Yeah, if the application changes, then you have to record the flow again and again, which is a tedious task. Yeah, it is better used for prototype demonstration. Got it? Got it? Is it clear?
Yeah, got it.
So test execution is also slow compared to that of Selenium RC and Selenium WebDriver. Yeah. So it has a built-in report, like built-in logs and built-in reports, like how many steps passed, failed, skipped, like that. Yeah. So these are considering the disadvantages of Selenium IDE. They have founded a new tool called as Selenium RC. Yeah. Considering all these issues, the Selenium team has built one more tool called as Selenium RC. RC stands for remote control. Yeah. It was invented by a Japanese person in the year 2006 to avoid all the issues in Selenium IDE. Clear? It was supposed to be written in JavaScript. JS stands for JavaScript. But from 2018 onwards, it is supporting multiple programming languages. Yeah. So hope you are all able to see this diagram, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Hope. Yeah. So you see, whatever the program that you have written is sent to a Selenium, some remote control server. Like remote control server acts as a medium between the code and the browser. Okay, so what does it do? Whatever the code that you have written, either in any of the programming language, will be sent to the server, and from this server, the code will be sent to all the browsers. Got it? From the Selenium remote control server, the code will be sent to all different types of browsers. That can be Internet Edge, Firefox, or Internet Explorer, or whatever it is. Okay. What does this remote control server do? Remote control server injects Selenium core onto the browsers. What do you mean by Selenium core? Selenium core is nothing but a set of JavaScript commands that needs to be executed onto the browsers. Yeah. So why JavaScript commands are being executed? Basically, whatever the programming language that we have written here, the Selenium remote control server takes the whole script and gets it converted to JavaScript, which it gets injected in the form of a Selenium core. I mean, the Selenium core consists of all the JavaScript commands, which will get executed onto the browser. Okay. So what is the problem here? So far so good. It's like a one-way communication. The whole program is taken, sent to the remote control server, and what happens? A Selenium core will be injected across all the browsers. So what is the main thing? Ideally, when the browser is under automation, the speed of the application reduces by 20 to 30% ideally. Yeah. But executing too much JavaScript commands onto the browser creates a burden, creates an overhead on the browser, which leads to slower executions. Yeah. So remember guys, not only for QA point of view, from a developer standpoint of view also, if you execute too many JavaScript commands onto the browser, the speed of the browser tends to slow down a lot because you are burdening with it. You are burdening a lot of things on the browser. Got it? Got it, guys? Is it clear, everyone?
So Rahul, are you going to show how a Selenium RC is gonna execute? So like how
I
you show
can't
in
show answer.
Selenium IDE.
I can't show Selenium RC because it's one of the outdated tools to really
Mm-hmm.
showcase also, because you need to install everything Java is Java and stuffs. So actually
Okay.
the architecture internally is also very complex. The one you see in the
Okay.
diagram, it looks simple, but internally the
Mm.
architecture is very complex to understand. That is also one of the reasons why I'm not able to demonstrate.
Okay.
Architecture of Selenium RC is too complex to.
Sir, I do have a question.
Yeah,
Hello.
go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to ask means whenever we write the code, so RC will convert to JavaScript.
Yeah, by default, the remote control server converts everything into JavaScript and gets executed onto the browser.
Okay.
Mm, yeah, too complex to understand for a common person. Does not support API and headless testing. What do you mean by headless testing? Headless
I mean,
testing is something like,
without
yeah,
opening browser and it will execute.
yes, it does not support headless testing here, guys. Yeah. I hope all the points are clear for everyone.
Rahul, one more thing. Earlier you said that disadvantage on the Selenium. So, how about multi authentications? Is it gonna support Selenium? Like,
Multi-authentication means what?
like OTP, mobile
OTPs
OTP
it will
validation.
obviously, ob obviously mobile OTPs. How can you automate it? Just think it, because if you want to
Mm,
automate OTPs, it has to go to your phone and do it, right? It doesn't do such kind of automation, right? OTPs and stuff. Either you have to
no,
know as a like, if you are working in a company, you need to have the logs. Like whenever you generate OTP, you will get it from the logs, right? You need to have the access of
correct.
the logs, and you have to read the OTP from that logs and print it here. That is another approach.
Okay.
But providedly, like ideally, most of the people won't give you logs, right? All the time.
Correct. Even
So
you
that's
said
another.
like recording, I mean, videos, something we cannot do it, right?
No,
Can we
not recording
do,
videos. Not recording videos. If you
I
want to
mean,
do a
video
video
validations,
testing, yeah,
video
you cannot do
testing,
that.
but length we can validate, right? I mean,
Not
length and
even the
size and,
length also.
okay, okay.
Yeah. Nothing you can't do about audio and video testing. That is another problem. Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
Then comes the Selenium WebDriver, which is one of the latest Selenium tools that is being used in the market. Okay. So whatever the code you have written here, let it be in Java, Python, Perl, whatsoever, it is being sent to the browser driver. What do you mean by browser driver? For every Chrome browser, you need to have a Chrome driver.exe file. Like you need to have a similar browser like .exe file. How many of you know how the Chrome works? Chrome application gets triggered from .exe file, right? Like chrome.exe file, Firefox Mozilla.exe file, edge.exe file. From there, the browser gets launched, right? Yes or no?
Yeah, executable file.
Similarly,
Yes.
Yes.
yeah, executable file. Similarly, for automation also, we need the executable files, right? To launch the browser, which gets interacted with the browser. Similar executable files from an automation standpoint of view, which interacts with the browsers. Yes or no?
Yes, Rahul.
Yes.
So for Chrome, we need to have a Chrome driver. For Firefox, you need to have a Firefox driver. For every browser, you need to have a separate driver for it, separate executable file, separate DMG file for Mac users. Yeah. So what is this JSON wire protocol doing? So whatever the code you have written, that gets converted into the form of HTTP requests and response. The whole code will be converted into the form of HTTP requests and response. Once it is converted in the form of HTTP requests and response, the code is sent to the browser driver. So what is this? The Chrome driver will be sending the code to the Chrome browser. So it will be sending a request and it will be giving a response back to the browser driver. So there's a two-way communication happening between your driver and the browser. Got it? There's a two-way communication that is happening. Got it?
So
Got
can
it,
you
guys?
repeat?
Which point you want, brother? Which point you want me to repeat? Can you tell me? Yes, can you tell me which point to repeat? Someone was asking.
I think Rahul, the client libraries are Python, C Sharp. Those are you calling as
No, no.
libraries.
Anything, any programming language, like the code that you have written in any programming language is called as Selenium client libraries.
Okay. So JSON
The
wire
scripting,
protocol, it is just converting the code into
the
HTTP
HTTP
protocol.
request,
Huh?
HTTP,
There
the
are
whole
other
code into
protocols
HTTP.
also there, right?
See, we are focusing on HTTP requests and response when you are working with
Okay.
Selenium WebDriver, because the main
Mm.
advantage of WebDriver is that we are sending the request and getting a response. If the
Mm.
automation is driven in such format, then we can actually
Mhm.
see what is the actual behavior of the application in a better manner.
Okay.
And HTTP requests are always the lightweight requests. Rather than sending the JavaScript code that we have seen in the previous version, by sending the HTTP request, it is very lightweight and very easy to execute on the browser. Got it?
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. Rajat, you have any doubts? Rajat, Suchi,
No,
Dheeraj?
no, sir. It's clear.
Yeah. So, from the Selenium 4, that latest version of Selenium 4, the JSON wire protocol is removed directly. So, the conversion of code into HTTP requests and responses done in the browser drivers only. In the latest version of Selenium, there won't be any JSON wire protocol, and the Selenium client libraries will be directly sent to browser drivers. And in this browser drivers only, the whole code will be converted to HTTP requests and response. Got it? Got it, guys?
Sir, I have a question. Means, do we always need to use .exe file?
Yeah, you need to use a .exe file for your respective browser.
Or can't we use Chrome Driver Manager?
Sorry, that will be discussing in the coding. I'm just trying to explain the overall architecture of Selenium WebDriver.
Okay, okay,
When you're in the coding, you will get to know more points about this, because there are 4 to 5 different ways of launching a browser using automation that you can see in the coding class. Yeah.
okay, sure, sir.
Mm. I hope I'm clear with this Selenium family, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Astra.
Yeah. So Selenium Grid is something that is used in a distributed environment. Like when you want to execute the multiple test cases, like multiple machines at the same time, then Selenium Grid is used. Like what does the Selenium Grid do? Selenium Grid acts as a server where all the machines, like you need to list out the machine IP addresses in that particular hub. So what happens if first you have 20 test cases, 5 test cases will be executed in one machine, other 5 test cases will be executed in other machines, like that. It gets distributed and execute the test cases in that particular machine. Got it?
Yeah, got it.
So ideally, for me to show Selenium Grid is very difficult, because I need to have I need to have at least 2 3 virtual machines to do it, which I don't have. But if the due course of time, if I can replicate that virtual machines, if I can get the virtual machines ready, I can demonstrate it for you. Yeah, got it? Got it, guys?
Yeah, got it, Rahul.
So for the next class, I want you to download these tools. JDK 17 download. So based on your operating system, you please download your tools. Yeah. Since I'm using Windows 64-bit, I'm downloading this Windows 64-bit installer. Okay.
तेरा देख का नाम है इसलिए
Sorry, Magesh, if you can. So keep the tools downloaded for tomorrow's class. One is for Git Bash download. Go to your Git downloads. Go click on Windows. Download the 64-bit. Download IntelliJ download. So please download the community edition. Don't download the ultimate edition. Ultimate edition is a paid tool. Yeah.
Can you repeat again what all needs to be installed?
First you need to download JDK 17, then Git Bash, then IntelliJ. Yeah. Is it clear, Vinod?
Yeah, I've got it. So we are going to discuss tomorrow on this why we are downloading JDK, Git Bash, and intelligence here, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sir, if we have Eclipse, will that work?
Sorry?
Means
Sorry, Rajat, your voice.
Eclipse IDE.
Yeah, Eclipse also we can do, but most of the companies are, yeah. Most of the companies are looking out for IntelliJ because of its easy integration with GitHub. Yeah, you can work on Eclipse also. One half of the class I'll be working with IntelliJ, another half of the class I'll be working with Eclipse, so that you'll be understanding how to work with multiple editors.
Sure.
And also you are going to send all the notes, right, which you written in the notepad.
If you want, I'll send it to you. I mean, on
Okay.
request only we send it because we never know, right? Who will ask what?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you please send yesterday's and today's?
Yesterday's was a PPT slide and today's okay, fine. That was a PPT
Yeah.
slide yesterday.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So if you want to
Yeah.
download Eclipse, you have to download Eclipse IDE. You have to download a software like this. Clear?
Yeah. Clear.
So these are the main tools that you need to download and keep it ready in your systems.
So quick question, the MFA automation is possible, right?
Sorry?
The OTP, receiving the OTP,
OTP
like
automation is, I told you it is possible only and if you are able to read the OTP from the logs, not from the
okay,
mobiles or somewhere.
is that the only way that it's done?
That's the only way, because if you will not have access to read the OTP from your mail, right? Like if your mail is two-factor authentication, again you have to generate the OTP for that. From phone, obviously you cannot do it. So the only solution is you have to read the OTP from the logs.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah, actually, there is another way, Rahul, but I mean, I did it. We have a third-party service in India. They are providing, API. So with the random mobile number, I mean, based on that mobile number, you will get the OTPs with the service. So by using that, we will do that automation.
Yeah, but you're talking in testing, but
Yeah,
when you're
yeah,
go-
testing. Yeah,
when, yeah, you're talking with respect to local environments. In respect to local environments, we have a friend's number, and if you put that friend's number in the logs, obviously where it reads the OTPs, no matter what you put third-party API or something, it returns a request and response, right? Whatever you're saying, it's like a API
Returning,
request and
yeah,
response. So
response,
that
yeah,
is
correct.
uh, so so whatever you do, whatever you see, it works internally. But when it goes to UAT again, you cannot do automate OTPs, right?
Yeah, correct, yeah, that's right. Just to validate as a functionality, so we can do it on lower only.
Yeah,
It's
like
not
that.
on other one.
So what do they do
Mm.
internally is developers can do either this way. No matter whatever, I mean, they'll give you one OTP, you have to enter that OTP only so as to continue
Yeah,
testing.
hard-coded OTP. Yeah, that is another way, correct.
Hmm. So that is another way. So this OTP testing and all works only during initial stages of testing. In the real time, you cannot do it. Yeah, clear?
Yeah, clear.
Hmm. Let's get connected tomorrow and work on the installation of the tools, and let's get the coding thing started. Yeah.
Okay, Rahul. Thanks.
Thanks.